The throne of the souls has finally been occupied by a king. Bai remembered how happy he was when he finally accomplished it, but his celebration was short-lived as he was assassinated right after. It was a punishment for the sin of a mere ant daring to be a king. Everything happens so fast, and he's in a critical state. The doctors tried their very best to bring him back to life, though it was all in vain. But when Bai regained his consciousness, he found himself in an unknown place. He wondered what was going on, and why he's currently sitting on top of a pile of corpses. He was surprised to see them and wondered if he's in hell already. Suddenly, he clutched his head as he felt an intense pain ripping through it. That is when he finally remembered everything. He remembered his name and his life as a former game streamer. He became popular for playing the game called The Throne of Souls. It is an RPG game highly praised for its unique world, story, and visuals. He's among the few who played despite its difficulty, but he was mysteriously killed. A voice then clarified that he was reborn, surprising Bai. The voice added that it's a special reward from the Throne of Souls. He seemed thrilled that he got this special chance, but is also disappointed that he wasn't reborn in a world full of beautiful ladies. He then asked the voice what its true purpose is for giving him this chance. The voice said that they only wanted him to do his best and sit on the throne again. They added that clearing it now will reward a pass to get back to his world. Though Bai was interested, he thought it was too difficult and deadly, but it was revealed that he can inherit various abilities in his previous runs, surprising Bai. This made him waver, all the more since he's a fan of all of them. The system also gave him a choice to be a civilian with no power. He figured out that the system is playing with him, making him choose the path of the king. He smiled and asked if there are any penalties for the path of becoming a king, to which the system said there are none and asked if he's sure. Hearing this, he didn't hesitate anymore and decided to agree. The contract was finished, and the system bade him good luck as the game began. When he came to, he found a figure hanging upside down on the ceiling. He asked why he is alive again, knowing he died a few days ago. It was Gray, a princess guard elf mage, asking for his assistance, but Harry disagreed at the thought of asking a timid boy for help. Dagu chimed in, expressing his hopelessness for the current situation. There's also Mina, the princess that those guards are guarding. Bai was surprised. These NPCs aren't ones you should meet as soon as you arrive. He realized that if he had chosen the civilian path, he would have died immediately. This place is the Wailing Cave, and it's not a birthplace for weak beginners. Originally, the first chapter of the game should be being born in Anka Village. The next progression would be going to the Burnt Jungle to trigger a forced storyline. Only then can one proceed to the Wailing Cave, where they will do a dungeon break. Bai has no time to ponder and decides he must plan out their escape first. He then turned to the system and activated the initial profession selection. The first option was a warrior, a close combat role who uses a sword and a shield. Next is mage, a long-range role who uses staff and magic spells. There's also the assassin, who emphasizes stealth and speed. Elementals, on the other hand, control the power of natural elements. And lastly, the outcast is an unimpressive role who uses a wooden stick and nothing else. But Bai decided to choose the last one, prompting the system to ask why. He explained that it's the only path that allows free switching of roles. One can also achieve all the professional achievements without limits. With this, the system issued the main quest, to survive and exit the cave. He wasted no time and stood up, planning to clear it as fast as he could. The royal guards hanging above asked him to untie them. Bai stared at it for a moment, not uttering a single word. He knows of the consequences of untying these ropes. The royal guards and the princess will break free from the restraints, only to meet a more brutal fate in the hands of a powerful monster. Everyone will be surprised by its strength, capable of crushing them easily. It's none other than the Blood Axe Modic, a level 30 boss monster. It won't take long for this beast to wipe them out with his axe. This will be the consequence if he chooses to rescue the princess and her guards. But he knew of another way around, and that is to conquer the dungeon alone. He began walking away without untying the restraints, prompting them to protest. They began questioning his decision, thinking he lacks intelligence. Bai only said that they will soon understand what his intentions are. Shortly after, a level 5 Plague Beast Cup showed up in front of him. The mindless monster roared and ran towards him. It lifted its spiked wooden club, brandishing it against Bai. In response, he ducked down to evade the monster's vicious swing. He then rolled forward to dodge the follow-up attack from the Plague Beast Cub. Harry thought he was just lucky, while Gray remarked how precise he is. Bai smiled, relieved that his battle sense and reflexes are still intact. In utter frustration, the monster then threw dynamite towards him. A powerful explosion ensued, together with the monster's laughter. But from the fiery storm emerged Bai, unscathed, and is out to slaughter him. He smashed his wooden stick against the monster's jaw as a beginning of his hunt. Moments into the battle, Bai is already close to defeating the monster. The roughed-up Plague Beast Cub angrily charged against him, only to get his head twisted by a full-body swing of Bai's wooden stick. The hanging royal guards were utterly surprised by his feat, albeit still skeptical. Bai rested for a moment, reflecting on how weak he currently is. The system announced his rewards for defeating the Plague Beast Cub. Looking at his stat panel, he couldn't help but think how bad it is. As he stood up, the royal guards pleaded for him to release them. But then, Princess Mina spoke and said there's no need to pester him anymore. She expressed her respect of his courage and advised him to be cautious. Bai revealed that he has his own plans and does not wish to share them. Harry took it as an insult, to which Mina told him to think of a way out instead. Bai knows they can escape even without his help, though he'll miss achievements related to the princess. For him, allies are important, but his survival comes first. He already knows of the hidden pieces of the Wailing Cave since he played it before. One of these is saving a key character, which is why he decided to move alone. He then arrived at a place where there was a talking jar. The voice said that he accidentally got sealed inside this jar when he hid from the monsters. He wasted no time and immediately smashed the jar with his stick. Out of it came Lucci, offering to satisfy any reasonable request. Hearing this, he asked for Lucci to help him save his friend who was captured. As they walked to save his friend, they suddenly met a high-rank monster. The monster charged angrily, while Lucci recognized the smell he emitted. He retaliated with a grudge, knowing it was the monster who sealed him in the jar. His poking attack tore a swirling hole in the monster's stomach, followed by a sharp sword swing that instantly decapitated the monster's head. Lucci was delighted upon hearing Bai's praises and urged that they continue. He led him to a cliff, saying he heard his friend's voice from below. He said that they have to save him quickly since time is running. Lucci immediately kicked him down the cliff, saying it is the fastest method. His voice echoed through the walls as he fell into the bottomless pit. Lucci apologized, saying it's his old habit that he can't resist kicking people. Bai asked how he found out he was reborn, surprising Lucci that he's still alive. Below, he revealed that it was because Lucci kicked him that he survived. He turned away, believing he'll die sooner anyway. Little did he know, Bai drank a health potion to recover his health points. He also found out that the information about Reborn is locked, but there's no need to worry about it for now. He stood in front of the towering doors, the Wailing Cave's hidden region. The players of the Throne of Souls are compelled to look for clues about this world. This world was once full of vitality, with all species coexisting harmoniously. But one day, an alien spacecraft suddenly crashed into this world, destroying the huge crystal that protects this realm and collapsing the world's foundation. And the place he's currently in is one of the abandoned ruins belonging to underground civilization. He contemplated using the hidden exit to accomplish the mission, but he hesitates because of the insane danger level of this route. In the end, he decided to trust his countless experiences and entered the thorny path. For him, successfully reaching the bottom of the abyss is a piece of cake. Still, he needs to be cautious as he gets deeper, as he can't afford to make mistakes. Just as he mentioned, he somehow made a mistake and slipped. He maneuvered his body in attempts to keep his balance and not fall. He heaved a sigh of relief, thinking it was a close one. While his guard had just come down, a man suddenly emerged behind him. His eyes widened in a sudden rush of adrenaline as he turned back. He immediately swung the spiked wooden club against the man. The man backed away, while Bai questioned his identity. Apologizing to him was Harvey, a level 30 human elemental ranger. He viciously expressed disappointment in not stabbing him right away. Bai continued to frantically question his identity and intentions. He then remembered that he was that corpse earlier and speculated he's also a reborn. Harvey confirmed and mocked him for being reborn as a level 1 outcast. For him, a side character like Bai is not even worth killing. It all happened so fast. A severe injury was already inflicted against him. He clutched his wound, wondering why a fellow reborn would hurt him. Harvey mocked him for being ignorant, saying their biggest enemy is a fellow reborn. Bai brandished his spiked club, refusing to believe Harvey's words. The latter effortlessly broke Bai's weapon and decided not to kill him. He then jumped off to exit, saying it's up to Bai whether he lives or dies. Panting, he asked the system for information about why this is happening. The system explained that killing a fellow regressor grants experience and blood soul points. It also explained that regressors are randomly reborn into creatures of different species. The initial role of each regressor has unique information, aside from outcast. But as Bai was falling, all this information from the system was meaningless for him. In the end, he refused to give up and grabbed a platform to break his fall. His severe injury was pressed against the platform, but he refused to let go. He thought that he can't waste this chance so easily since this is a rare chance. He knew that he must endure no matter how painful it is and pulled himself up. He then let go, allowing his body to bounce from platform to platform until he reached the ground. He laughed after successfully reaching the exit. All he needed to do was crawl out, but then he was surprised to catch a whiff of a familiar scent in the air. Standing before him was the wiggly-toothed fusion beast, looking to devour him. Just as Bai turned back slowly to back away, the monster began splitting into countless little monster heads. Bai was completely surrounded as it activated its second form. The transformation shouldn't be this fast, making him wonder if it happened on purpose. He speculated that Harvey deliberately lured the monsters out to trap him. With this current situation, he knew that the only end waiting for him was death. The monsters began chirping as they charged against him. But Bai is not someone to be underestimated. Having gone through countless battles, he immediately threw himself into the acidic river, basking in its poison. This river has a strong corrosive property, capable of swallowing any living thing, but this much is nothing compared to his overwhelming will to live. His clothes offer some protection to him, but the acid is definitely fatal to the monsters. He crawled through the acidic river while the monsters were still hesitating. He gritted his teeth and crawled, weak, but his face was burning with determination. He remembered that he was born in a poor place and left to study in the city. He ended up as a dishwasher in some restaurant, where he was always scolded. Even if balancing his study and work was hard, he never gave up. But then, His mother was diagnosed with terminal illness, and his world collapsed. He worked part-time as a food delivery rider, where he was mistreated too. And just when he was just rising as a game streamer, he unexpectedly died. He didn't care about dying in the first place, but this pathetic death is unacceptable for him. He slowly stood up, frustrated by this joke of a situation he's currently in. He then lifted his feet and threw himself forward, not minding the monsters after him. They began biting his body, but he already managed to exit the Wailing Cave. As the system announced his rewards, the monsters clung onto him. But then, a powerful green electricity surged from beneath. He finally used the Holy Blood Essence to restore his blood and increase stat points. He also equipped the Bloodthirsty Shadow Hidden Assassin armor set, together with the Scarlet Killing Blade as his main weapon. A powerful storm of sharp cutting energies erupted from his body. The smoke cleared, revealing his new outfit waving defiantly in the air. He emerged in a completely new look. This is what a reborn king should look like. The remaining monsters chirped as they began charging against him. He threw himself forward and unleashed a barrage of mutilating attacks. In no time, he managed to cut every single one of them. The remaining monsters trembled, hesitating to attack him. They began clinging into each other, fusing into one single entity. The combined monsters then opened their mouths to devour Bai. In response, he summoned his dual daggers, the Scarlet Killing Blades. He locked in, revealing that this was the mission reward he was waiting for. He activated the Scarlet Flame, conjuring a powerful flame circle. He threw himself forward, aiming to finish the enemy quickly. Streaks of flame tailed behind him as he charged against the monster. He immediately ducked down, predicting the monster's attack. He buried his blade into the monster's flesh, tearing it apart. With every slash of his blade, he inflicted bone-excruciating pain against it. He then unleashed the Scarlet Burn, a skill that explodes the wound. Crimson spikes began protruding from all over the monster's body. He asked the monster if it's feeling pain, deciding to end things for good. He activated the Shadow Assassination formation, surrounding the enemies with his clones. Multiple blade slashes came down on the monster, making it scream in pain. As the final attack, his flaming slashes streaked down like divine retribution. With that, the system announced the successful hunting of the monster. He was satisfied to have upgraded 8 levels in one go. He recalled how difficult it is to level up in this game, even making a summary of rules. The system awarded him with coins, a potion, and a new prayer skill. He then opened his status panel and invested all his points in agility. He also checked the items unlocked in the inventory, most of which were consumables. He finds it embarrassing since he used to have many top-quality weapons in professional sets. Even so, he managed to obtain the Dragon Armor set together with the Dragon Spine Sword. He also acquired the Starry Sky Prophet and the Deep Space Beacon, a Magic Mage set. Now, he's contemplating whether to rescue Mina or not. He considered threats like Harvey, thinking it's risky to take those threats alone. He weighed that it would be better to join the princess's party and take on risks. He concluded that teaming up with them would pose the lowest risk against him. With this, he finally made up his mind and started moving. Following the trail of monster corpses lying on the ground, Bai can be seen engaging with multiple monsters standing in his way. He activated the prayer he recently acquired, the Piercing of Suffering. After dealing with all of them, Bai finally reached level 10. However, he learned that his behavior earlier made the princess's camp hostile to him. He wore a helpless expression, wondering how badly they cursed him behind his back. Speaking of Mina's camp, they're still left hanging in the cave, pissed. Mina told them to calm down, apologizing for being weak and dragging everyone down, but her bodyguards do not regret fulfilling their sworn allegiance to her. As they were speaking, 2 crimson daggers flew and cut off the ropes. Everyone fell, while the guards prioritized the princess's safety. As soon as they hit the ground, Dagu complained about another failed attempt at dying. Harry immediately checked up on the princess, to which she said she was okay. On the ground, Gray wondered who did it, suspicious of their intention. Bai revealed himself, telling them not to be nervous, as it's just a payback for how they cursed him. Despite his new appearance, everyone still recognized his voice and were surprised, but Bai revealed that there's no time to be surprised since the boss monster is coming. The guards freed themselves, but were still suspicious of Bai's intentions. Regardless, Mina still expressed her gratitude to him for saving them. Hearing Bai's casual response to the princess, the royal guards were enraged. He continued to provoke them. It turns out that this is all part of his plan. Mina summoned her weapon and told them to stop causing a ruckus. At her order, everyone immediately switched to their battle formation. With this, Bai concluded that he can get along with everyone's personality. With 10 seconds left before the boss's appearance, he set up a thunderstorm trap. Electricity crackled in his body as he turned to them and asked for 3 minutes. From out of nowhere leaped out a monstrous silhouette. It was the boss monster, coming down like lightning striking the ground. A level 30 Blood Axe Modic, he exuded confidence as the Plague Beast clan leader. But this confidence led to his carelessness as he stepped on the thunderstorm trap. Purple and blue lightning engulfed the body of the boss monster. They didn't waste the chance and charged to attack the humongous enemy. But the boss monster has already recovered and retaliated against them. He then noticed 3 arrows aimed directly at his head. He blocked it with minimal effort, saying this is just a child's play for him. He added that they must show their true skills if they wanted to fight. Even the vines cast to restrict him could never bind him as he snapped them effortlessly. he continued wreaking havoc while mocking their weakness. He spun around like a tornado, casting his forward-directed splatter skill. The princess quickly erected a barrier to protect everyone from the storm of debris. He told them not to mind her and ordered them to find a way to fight back. The boss monster then set his eyes on her and attacked. As the monster's swing came down, Harry used his body to shield the princess. The boss monster raised his weapon again, planning to finally end the princess this time. But suddenly, he felt a sharp pain behind his back that made him teary-eyed. It was Bai. He successfully managed to backstab the monster. With his weapon dipped in the acid Styx river water, his attack has become poisonous. Enraged, he swung his weapon mindlessly, but Bai was evading it effortlessly. The poison attribute of his blade began corroding the boss monster's body. He was so frustrated that he began mindlessly thrashing around. The ground shattered from his overwhelming display of wrath, leading to the pile of corpses. It then exploded, sending the bodies flying all around the place. These corpses were reawakened because of the explosion. With the activation of the corpse transformation, the battle has entered the second phase. Bai told them to block the corpse transformations and he will deal with the boss. Given the situation, they didn't retaliate anymore and began facing the corpses. The monster commended his bravery for facing him alone. Everything is going according to the plan. Bai knows he needs to finish the battle within a minute. The boss monster continued taunting him for his weakness. Bai retorted sharply as he activated his Scarlet Fire skill. Flames tailed him as he streaked through the air, his steps deliberate. Bai recalled playing the game, back when he would always get killed by this boss. It took him at least 30 deaths before he could get past him. And now, he's currently facing the boss monster he faced countless times back then. He already memorized his attack patterns, allowing him to dodge effortlessly. He locked his eyes onto him and assessed the situation. Growing impatient, the boss asked why he was just dodging instead of fighting. The boss hurled debris was easily evaded by Bai's aerial maneuver. Watching this, Mina couldn't help but think that he moves like a seasoned veteran. But the monster finally figured out that he was using the hit and run tactic. In response, he summoned his war axe, an indication of the third phase's beginning. The boss performed his blood dance, leaving Bai with no place to hide. Even with his speed, he could not fully evade the attacks of the boss in its third phase. But this is still doable. He's in fact waiting for this phase. Gray and Harry looked back at him, worrying at his situation. The boss monster raised his battle axe, ready to deliver the final blow, but it was all in vain as he only managed to hit Bai's shadow clone. He was surprised to see that Bai was capable of teleportation. With the boss caught off guard, he successfully landed a vicious blow behind his back. He exploited the weaknesses of the boss monster's third phase. The boss monster was hurt, whining about Bai's habit of stabbing his back. The royal guards were utterly surprised to see that the boss was hurt. The enraged monster has completely lost all reason and is just attacking mindlessly. Bai remained composed, sharp and surgical with his approach and offense. His fast movements mutilated the boss's massive body from all sides. The boss never expected that a puny human could ever push him to that extent. Pissed as he may be, but he had no choice but to use a rare item against him. Activating the item, he began absorbing the energy of the corpses to regenerate his health. Even Bai was surprised. This is something completely out of his expectations. But a golden forbidden was then cast, interrupting with his skill activation. It was Mina, ordering everyone to focus on the boss for now. The enraged boss monster blamed her for ruining his plans and went after her. The royal guards couldn't come to her rescue since they were cornered. Thankfully, Bai was there to protect Mina from the boss monster's attack. Seeing that he took a lot of damage, Mina felt bad and apologized, but Bai dismissed it, saying it was his fault for losing focus. The boss angrily turned to him, annoyed by his persistence. Bai assumed a fighting stance, ready to settle this fight. The boss monster was alarmed. He feels a strong energy emanating from Bai. Despite his looks, the boss was actually smart enough to know when to retreat. As he left, the corpses began collapsing to the ground. The royal guards rushed towards her, apologizing for arriving too late. Bai decided to pursue the boss monster, to which Mina discouraged him from doing so. He only said that he had his own reasons and continued to chase the boss. He activated the shadow assassination formation and caught up to the boss. He thought that this boss must die and unleashed his killing blow. With the death of the boss monster, everyone gained EXP points and leveled up. Bai stood on top of the fallen monster, gaining 2 levels simultaneously. In this raid, he obtained the Blood Dance Fury Axe. He also acquired the book on necromancy, as well as the blood-sucking mechanism item. Mina expressed her gratitude to him for blocking the attack earlier. However, his mind was preoccupied by the unknown variables that went against his plans earlier. The royal guards rushed towards Bai, showering him with praises. Harry also apologized for his hostile attitude towards him, acknowledging his heroism. With this, the princess's camp's favorability towards him was greatly increased. Bai modestly denied his heroism and asked why they're not concerned with his identity as a regressor. Mina explained that they're in no position since they're targets of public scrutiny too. Bai was then surprised to hear that they've also got another powerful regressor. Bai asked for more info, saying he's only a newbie awakener and wants to learn more. Princess Mina turned back, urging him to discuss the matter as they walk. They began walking together out of the Wailing Cave, with their guards still raised. Mina said that regressors are those who return to life after death and possess some kind of special ability. Various countries initially ignored them, until a prophecy about Regressor's rise emerged. Mina said that the Regressor who helped them was completely different from the usual savages. She even said that his aura was similar to what Bai has. She also warned of the thorny path that lies ahead because of the world's hatred against Regressors, and as a precautionary measure for that, Mina gave him a present. Bai immediately received it, seemingly recognizing the item. It was revealed that this dagger was given to Mina by that Regressor. The Patron's Veil, a high-damage dagger capable of concealing the wearer's identity. Bai was surprised to see this. He had never encountered this before. Mina said that with this, he can conceal his identity as a Regressor and reduce unnecessary threats. The royal guards questioned why she gave such an important item, but Mina dismissed them. With such an item in his hand, Bai thought that the princess was too honest and kind. That is the reason why she's not destined to become a king. As the last blood lane of the Starshine Kingdom, Mina should have lived a life revered by all, but when the disaster struck, the soul of the world was shattered and caused a violent upheaval. This disaster resulted to mutations of species and led to an apocalypse. In order to protect the world, the Starshine Kingdom dispatched troops united under 8 lords, but with the lords slacking off, the kingdom's authority collapsed. The 8 lords declared independence, and they now see Mina as a threat. But the more suppressed she is, the more resolutely she walks the difficult path of restoration. His train of thoughts were shattered when Gray asked if he killed the monster corpses along the road. Dagu then pointed forward. The exit is almost within their reach. The princess immediately took the lead and headed to the exit. She covered her face upon getting out, basking from the sunlight. They stood before the breathtaking view outside the Wailing Cave. Mina opened her arms wide, enjoying the warmth of sunlight embracing her body. The royal guards were happy that they were finally free from the Wailing Cave. He turned to Bai and thanked him again, while he dismissed and asked her next plan. He already knew their next steps, but he still wanted to see if there are changes. Gray intended to hide it at first, but Harry said there's no need for it. Mina agreed, though she still feels a little embarrassed to tell Bai. In the end, she revealed that the mercenary group they hired betrayed them. They also took the Star Core necklace, the proof of Mina's royalty. She was full of regrets, blaming herself for being naive and weak. Harry strongly disagreed, saying it's their fault for failing to protect her and the relic. Gray and Dagu agreed, saying the mercenaries were too good with their deception. Mina said that she must find them, even if it takes chasing them to the end of the world. But to their surprise, Bai said that he actually knows where those people are. The group was hesitant to believe Bai's words, telling him not to joke around. The princess was speechless to what Bai had claimed. Bai confirmed and told them he never lied to them from the beginning. They were surprised. They never knew it would be too easy with Bai on their side. The princess apologized again for still doubting him at this point. Bai held on to the princess's shoulders and told her to trust him. The princess was glad to receive assurance and help from Bai. Harry warned him not to get too close to the princess, while Gray stopped Harry from meddling. As they continued their journey, they reached the burnt jungle. A monstrous red lizard was seen chasing a small monster. It chomped on it, showing how cruel the jungle and its ecosystem was. With its blood-stained mouth, the monster boasted his status as a hunter. That was until he was the one who got hunted and grilled over a bonfire. Inside the woods, a mercenary group called League of Justice resides. Kura and Maxwell are discussing spending their gains, while Yuri complains about the heat. Hades was preoccupied with a thought and left the group hanging, waiting for his response. It turns out that they were the mercenary group who took Princess Mina's necklace. Hades gritted his teeth, saying that he should have ended the princess. Maxwell and Kura mocked the princess and her group while telling that Hades was too cautious. Hades remembered the princess' rage upon the mercenaries' betrayal. He told her that they've not betrayed them, they're just being flexible regarding their judgment. Hades offered that the princess should be his woman and let him hold on to the necklace. Despite being turned down, Hades prepared a threat for the princess. He turned to her captured guards and asked her if she's willing to watch them die by his hand. The princess was in a tight spot, not knowing what to do. Back to the present, Hades dismissed the thought and planned to raid the nearest village tomorrow. After confirming that they are finally leaving the woods, Maxwell grabbed a woman captive and went back to his tent for a happy time. Yuri suggested they sell the necklace to the nearest country. Hades said it's better to sell it directly to Hyde's earldom. However, Yuri was hesitant since Hyde's is currently in a war, and they won't have time to deal with them. Hyde's is a high-rank earldom with excellent blacksmiths and a powerful army. Meanwhile, both Wembach and Eilina are commoner kingdoms, weak compared to the former. Hades told him that the necklace is worth 10 times all the benefits of the wars. Yuri was shocked, then suggested that maybe they can build a nation just for fun. But Hades disagreed, saying it's best not to covet power that they can't control. He ended the conversation with a reminder that they just need to live a happier life. He then turned to him and ordered everyone to prepare for the raid tomorrow. Meanwhile, Bai assassinated some mercenaries, while the group held back confrontation. Mina told them that the mercenaries had an advantage in terms of level and numbers. The royal guards were planning their approach to get back the necklace from them. Bai mentioned that they need to act fast before the mercenaries discover the bodies. The princess warned Bai about Hades, but Bai had an idea. The royal guards were curious and asked what's on Bai's mind. Bai told them that he has a way to make up for their forces' numerical gap. Bai remembered that there are high-level fire spiders inside the jungle. He explained that they must lure the spiders out of their nests, then lead them to the mercenary camp and transfer their aggression to them. Even though the monsters' levels are low, they need to manage enough numbers for a distraction, and the key to their success is whether he can lure the boss out of its nest. On their way, Gray is expressing his skepticism towards Bai's plan. The princess said that her invisibility spell can't be cast on a group. Despite the danger, Harry and Daegu were willing to do it to retrieve the necklace. Bai assured them that their plan won't fail as long as they followed him. He threw several of his items to the royal guards, surprising them. Among the items he gave them was the Shadow of Solitude, an invisibility potion. There's also the relic called Whispers of the Divine, a communication item. And lastly, he gave them a frost grenade for freezing and slowing the enemies down. They were shocked to see Bai casually throwing rare items, asking how he obtained them. It was from his constant grinding before in the game, but he told them it's not important. The princess acknowledged the importance of the artifacts Bai gave them. These artifacts are being replicated by a religious cult that is separated from the 8 countries. They use it for military power and sell it to powerful countries, promoting violence. Some of the original artifacts are being sold at the black market for absurd prices. Bai guessed that the princess tried to hire mercenaries on the black market and failed. The princess felt embarrassed, but Bai promised that everything would be restored. The princess thanked him and was flustered by her feelings towards him. The system presented Bai's mission, to help the princess retrieve the necklace. The system gave him 3 ways to get more new account unlocking rewards. After learning them, Bai thought it would be easy and a fight would be inevitable. Bai told the group they're about to enter the nest and prepare for entrance. Inside, red fire spider eggs can be found all around the tree trunks and on top of the roots. The red fire spider hatchlings are all over the place too. However, the monsters are small enough that the guards could easily crush them. The royal guards are having fun stepping on the spiders. This is their stress reliever. But the princess told them not to fool around as she engages with the monsters. Harry was a bit skeptical with the plan, but Gray said they had no better plan. A huge number of adult spiders appeared, and Harry agreed that Bai was indeed right. The princess and her guards ran to lure the spiders towards the mercenary camp. Meanwhile, the boss monster was bothered by the destruction of her eggs. Bai confronted the monster, not a bit afraid of the enemy's domineering presence. Knowing the princess followed his instructions, it's time for him to do his part. The monster was surprised to see Bai and attacked him. The boss asked if he was seeking death by daring to challenge her. Bai then asked if the boss monster wanted to know his purpose. He then told her that she needs to beat him first and then charged to slash her leg. After receiving an injury, the spider transformed to its human form. She tried to seduce Bai since a huge number of her eggs were destroyed. Knowing he'll be devoured, he slashed the monster's head and declined the invitation. The spider widow suddenly exploded and released her webs around the area. Enraged by being turned down, the boss barraged him with acid shots. He dodged all of her attacks, knowing her hatred reached its maximum limit. He tried to stick to his goal, which is to lure the spider out. Bai knew that their victory depended on whether the spider could be lured out or not. The spider suddenly disappeared, but it was just on the ceiling on top of him. She then released a cobweb from above, aiming to trap Bai. He dodged the heavy impact of the spider's web and attempted to run out of the nest. Chasing him down, the boss thought that Bai might have been intimidated by her dominance, but shortly after, she felt bored and stopped chasing him, saying she has no interest in weak males. Bai tried to bait the spider by telling lies about 30 robust males at their camp. As she was interested in breeding, the spider found his taunting irresistible. With such a tempting offer, the spider told Bai to lead the way to their camp. Bai smiled. The plan was a massive success. The spider army continued to pursue the princess and her guards. Meanwhile, the guards were puzzled by how Bai managed to come up with the plan. The princess reminded them to split up and cover the whole area of the camp. She added that they can't waste Bai's items and must work in perfect harmony. The group dispersed and the spider's army was split into 4. On the other hand, the mercenaries found the corpse of their fallen comrades. Hades figured out that it was a human who killed their companions. He was dwelling on whether a stranger killed them or someone from the princess team. Suddenly, one of the mercenaries reported that they're under attack. He reported that he saw a glimpse of the princess and a huge number of spiders. Hades was shocked by the news, thinking it was impossible for them to escape. Back to the base, the spiders ran rampant and destroyed every tent on their path. With not enough escape paths left, the mercenaries perished while screaming desperately. But the spiders were merciless, devouring the mercenaries without hesitation. Maxell, Kura, and Yuri fought hard, while clueless to the sudden spider stampede. Seeing Hades arrive at their location, they thought they're saved. They then told Hades to lead their group for a counterattack. However, Hades told them to run since the spider invasion is a deliberate setup. Yuri asked about their comrades, but Hades couldn't care less about anything except his life. Praising his cold-bloodedness, the 3 followed Hades towards their treasure storage. However, they arrived too late since the spider boss was finally there. The mercenaries watched all their money being thrashed around by the monster. Meanwhile, the spider boss was delighted to find a lot of men to make her new eggs with. She then unleashed her webs, capturing each and every single mercenary there. She blasted them with acid shots, and only Hades dodged them all. As Hades dodged, the spider boss revealed that she got the intel about him from that kid. Hearing this, Hades wondered who this mysterious mastermind is. Suddenly, a hand grabbed his leg from behind while he was running. It was Yuri, asking for his help since he didn't want to die. Hades lifted him up, to which the latter thanked him for not abandoning him. Or so he thought. He could only scream as Hades threw him towards the spider. He intends to escape since he doesn't know what the mastermind was capable of. Hades used the crowd for his escape and let everyone die. After running away for quite a distance, he was utterly frustrated. But despite losing the team he built, he thought that it's a good thing he still has the necklace. But on his way, he saw the princess standing unknowingly. He confirmed that it was really her and wondered how she escaped, but he wasted no time and slashed her with his sword. However, he was surprised to see that he only slashed an illusion made by a top-tier artifact. Suddenly, Bai appeared behind him, pointing his dagger to his throat. Hades quickly countered and asked who his opponent was. He was angered after realizing that this kid plotted everything just for the necklace. He underestimated Bai due to his level and claimed that all of his plan was a waste. Hades charged towards Bai, aiming to engage in a head-to-head combat. Bai easily dodged his attack as he maneuvered into the air. Seeing his agility, he wondered if Bai was really at just level 10. Bai then taunted him, challenging Hades to see who could last the longest. Hades said that Bai missed the chance to kill him, but Bai already knew it wouldn't work. Though astonished by his knowledge, Hades still thinks he overestimated him. Hades created a claw made of fire and charged towards Bai. In response, the latter moved to the side to evade the attack. He knew he wouldn't be able to use his assassin skills against an elemental ranger. Hades continued to attack, saying this duel was decided the moment he revealed himself. However, Bai intends to overcome the class-based restraints with his battle experience. He unleashed a ferocious counterattack. The real determining factor is skills. Hades grinned, telling Bai that battle experience was meaningless due to their level gap. He finally decided to end everything, unleashing all the power he has. Hades charged with his arm equipped with an energy blade. He slashed Bai, hoping for him to die in this final attack. But he was surprised to see that only Bai's cape was damaged. The latter confidently claimed that he had a way to take him down. Hades was furious upon hearing the notion that he would be defeated. Bai revealed his intention of defeating Hades by cheating. He used his class crest to increase his skill level. While the effect is active, Bai unleashed his shadow assassination formation. Hades was not bothered by Bai's plan and charged with confidence. Their fists collide, making a strong impact and sending powerful shockwaves. Bai followed up his attack with 2 crossing slash attacks. Hades' form shattered, leaving him shocked that the attack wasn't an illusion. He felt the difference in power and decided to escape immediately. Bai's shadow arms caught him, making him wonder why he has a lot of high-level items. He looked back and was shocked with Bai's power. He was rendered powerless, suppressed, and crushed in the ground. Bai confronted him and recalled Hades' words regarding torture. Hades knows he didn't do him any wrong and wondered why he's doing this. Bai showed his monstrous power while telling Hades to blame his cleverness. Hades surrendered the necklace while wishing to be spared. However, Bai wanted both the necklace and his life and slashed him. A crimson magic circle appeared, releasing a storm of relentless slashes. With his life nearing its end, he asked why he was kept alive. Bai picked up the necklace while he revealed his promise to the princess. As Bai handed over the necklace to the princess, he gained a lot of points. Princess Mina agreed to ask him quickly before the boss arrived. She then turned to Hades and interrogated him regarding his betrayal. Hades answered that he only regretted not killing them from the beginning. Bai didn't kill Hades since he's gambling with the princess's luck to survive. Enraged by Hades' words, Harry intends to end him fast. However, Hades was swept away by the webs of the spider boss. The spider wrapped him around with her web, claiming him as her property. Dying in the monster's hand rather than Bai's blade was Hades' last words. All that was left was the spider boss and Bai's team, confronting each other. After clearing the mercenary camp, the spider boss set her eyes on Bai. The latter told everyone to stand down and he will finish the job. The princess and her guards insisted on assisting him. The spider planned to kill the princess and turn the rest of them as food. As the spider charged forward, the group heard a loud roaring sound. The spider arrogantly asked who dared to roar above its head. A monstrous foot suddenly stepped down, slamming it on the ground. Bai was shocked to see an ancient dragon. The dragon roared menacingly as light energy coiled around, causing them to brace themselves. It then kept his foot on top as the spider resisted. The princess and her guards froze in their place, contemplating whether to run or fight. Bai told them not to make a move while thinking of a way out. The spider was enraged by the sudden appearance of the dragon on its territory. After being freed from the dragon's foot, the spider attempted to attack. However, the dragon easily gobbled up the whole spider. It then easily crushed the spider with its sharp teeth. The fight between the species gave Bai enough time to recall information about the dragon. The creature looked at him as he remembered its real name and position in the world of Soul. He knew the dragon was one of the most powerful forces in the game, but they vanished after the first Star War. The dragon prepared itself for a fight while the group braced themselves. Bai raised his hand and tried to stop the dragon, saying they weren't enemies. The latter looked at him in confusion. It then closed its jaws as the fire dissolves. The princess and her guard were shocked to witness Bai use the dragon language. The dragon roared and asked him for using their language while he stood unfazed. Bai used his skill book, Dragon Whisper, to communicate with Djinn. Bai kneeled in front of the great dragon and offered his highest respect. Djinn roared furiously while asking how he knew all his identity, saying that humans are weak and they can't deceive him. Bai saw the dragon's wound and wondered what caused it. The dragon was about to launch an attack, but he cut it off. Bai pointed out that he served the last descendant of Starshine royalty, the princess. Despite the intense fear, The princess stood tall and entrusted everything to Bai. As he mentioned the contract to protect the Starshine royal members, Dijin countered that the contract ended when the kingdom fell. The dragon stomped its feet, breaking the ground beside him. It then roared at them furiously, giving Bai a last chance to prove himself. Bai whipped out the princess's necklace and showed it to the dragon. He reasoned that it is the stellar ore that can only be possessed by the royal bloodline. But while he was speaking, the dragon continued to charge up its attack. Bai grabbed the princess and dodged the fiery attack. The dragon continued unleashing his flame breath. Dijin claimed that a mere mortal holding such an important item should die. Bai protected the princess and her guardians while confronting the dragon. Dijin noticed that Bai used an artifact and claims they won't survive his attack again. Bai knew they wouldn't survive the next attack and thought of a plan. He asked the princess if she was willing to go with his plan, and the princess accepted it. In one swift motion, Bai knocked out the princess. Upon seeing him lay his hands on the princess, Harry was about to get angry, but Bai told them to keep what happened next a secret. He raised his dagger, aiming it against the unconscious princess on the ground. Without hesitation, he precisely stabbed the princess in the chest. He accurately pierced her and obtained royal blood directly from the heart. He kept his composure, calm as he pulled out the dagger and finished the process. As he placed her blood on the necklace, the dragon unleashed his fire breath while saying their time is up. The dragon's breath streaked through the air, obliterating everything in its path. Suddenly, a golden armored entity blocked the dragon's attack. Dijin was utterly shocked upon recognizing the familiar figure. It was the first king of the Kingdom of Stars standing in front of him. Dijin was puzzled. He should have been dead for hundreds of years. He thought that maybe it was an illusion, but Bai claimed that he would know through battle. Dijin felt pestered and attempted to attack again. He used his ultimate breath and fired a powerful beam of fire against the first king. A huge explosion ensued, and it was visible to the whole burnt jungle. Panting, Dijin boasted that his breath can even melt steel. However, he was surprised to witness that it wasn't an illusion. The king was standing unfazed while piercing him with his gaze. The king lifted his foot, aiming to stomp down the reptilian foe. With this, Bai proved that the king was not an illusion as he used his annihilation skill. Yu Deegan found it hard to believe that the first king was alive. As they clashed together, the dragon still thinks that the princess was not Thylus's descendant. He revealed his intentions and attempted to kill the princess. However, Thylus used his parry skill and paralyzed Dijin. The guards were too stunned and shocked at what they were witnessing. Bai noticed that the Thylus's weakness was exposed, noting that he had to end it quickly. Dijin looked up, recognizing Thylus's move. The latter's sword lunged towards him while the dragon stood frozen. As he felt terrified of his presence, he remembered their first meeting. Thylus stood before him, asking to be his partner to protect the world of the soul together. Despite ignoring Thylus's proposal, he clearly remembered his first defeat. Dijin wishes to be killed rather than obey the king. Thylus raised his shining sword, ready to fulfill his request. Dijin trembled in fear while Thylus offered him a way to survive. The king stopped and offered him a rematch once he became strong someday. Powerless to disagree, he followed the king's order and protected the kingdom. However, Thylus's victory was short-lived and he was freed after the war. As he got back to his senses, Thylus's blazing sword surged through the ground. The sword cleaved the land and sky behind the dragon. Dijin bowed down, being overwhelmed by Thylus' strength once again. He then retaliated, thinking it was a trap to make him obey the princess. As he refused to obey Thylus, he suddenly vomited, revealing a brown chest. With his pride and freedom on the line, Dijin flew away. The guards asked why Bai let the dragon get away. Bai responded that he failed to kill the dragon due to the time limit. As the king's image fades, the system announces his rewards. Despite leveling up, Daegu and Gray felt unsatisfied with their benefits. Harry was full of curiosity and asked Bai how things happened. Bai carefully laid the princess on the ground while explaining everything to them. Bai claimed that the princess' spirit energy was depleted, and it would take days for her to wake up again. Bai turned his gaze on the chest, telling them that they should leave the burnt jungle. The princess's guards thought that it was a valuable treasure, while Bai deduced that it was likely a trap as it never appeared before. Gray tried to warn Bai, but Daegu insisted he should be the one to open it. They're being wary of the mimic, a slime monster that preys on unsuspecting adventurers. Bai remembered that he was once a victim of these tricky monsters. While the guards prepared for a fight, Bai kicked the top of the chest. Gray and Daegu were shocked to witness the gold coins gushing out. Bai and his team obtained multiple sacred items like the coins of the first king, the key to the exile dungeon, the coordinates to the exile dungeon, and the summoning bell. Gray found it hard to believe they were seeing the actual coins. Bai told them to take the coins but leave the items to him. Harry was worried that it might be unfair, but Bai claimed it was for the kingdom's restoration. Harry accepted the gold as an investment and changed his opinion of him. The guards felt happy having Bai on their side. The guards suggested that they should return to Baron Robbie's territory due to the princess condition. Bai recalled what he knew about the Baron and agreed to their suggestion. Bai told them that he's headed to the Anka village. Gray tried to ask, but Harry told him that Bai had his own plans. As he carried the princess on his back, Harry told Bai that they intended to stay in the Baron's mansion. As the guards bid farewell, Bai promised that they will see each other again soon. Bai left, and the system informed him of his increased reputation. On the depths of the cliff made by the king's cleave, monster hands appeared. An unknown demon emerged from the land. Bai recalled his exploration progress on the Wailing Cave and Burnt Jungle. Despite knowing the game as an open world, he doesn't intend to leave every place unexplored. He knew that Anka Village would be a safe place for him to create his future plans. He was glad that the village chief was a trustworthy person. It was night and Bai thought that the silence was unpleasant. He noticed the sudden changes in the environment. He realized something was wrong and heard a scream. Bai rushed towards the village to figure out what was happening. Under the red moon, someone was captured by some cloaked people. The captured boy cried while struggling with cuffs on his limbs. One of the cloaked people was carrying a jar. The person placed it on top of the boy's stomach. A small centipede monster fell on top, covered in unknown liquid. The monster shrieked. While the cloaked people chant unknown words, the monster dove into the boy's stomach. The boy felt excruciating pain. A dagger flew and hit the monster. It killed the monster before it fully entered the boy's body. The three cloaked strangers were surprised. Bai asked them what they were doing and what happened to the village. The strangers freaked out. They claimed that the monster was holy and Bai's disturbance was blasphemous. Bai thought that no holy star mother insect was mentioned before in the game. The cloaked men attacked Bai. He easily dodged them and apprehended them. Bai unmasked the cloaked men and saw a centipede tattoo. Bai figured out that there's a kindler in the village. The leader revealed an insect artifact and transformed his comrades to insect-like monsters. Bai recalled the name of the artifact that the cloaked person was using. Bai didn't fear the monsters. The leader ordered his comrades to kill Bai. One of the monsters attacked with a neurotoxin. He recalled its effects and knew it would be bad to take damage from it. One of the monsters stabbed Bai in the back. The leader mocked him and tried to leave. However, the monster only stabbed his cape. Bai was above them and dealt a strong slash to them. The cloaked man was shocked to see both of the monsters were gone with one strike. As he asked the last man standing, the cloaked stranger resisted. With nothing left to gain, Bai finished the stranger with a dagger. Bai acquired the prattling mutated insect item. He's trying to figure out what happened to the village and what were the Kindler's intentions. He remembered that the parasite relics came from an unknown alien parasite. Also, he recalled that being planted by an insect can cause symbiosis. Even by knowing the cult that worships propagation, he still can't figure out what's happening. He saw the boy cowering in fear. He remembered that the boy was the one who always followed him. The boy admired him before in the game and even killed monsters to show his growth. As he assured the boy's safety, the boy revealed that the village chief had become a monster. The boy felt intense fear and tried to escape in the wilderness. Realizing the boy left someone dear to him, he runs back to the village. Bai felt anger after hearing the boy's story. Bai arrived at the village. He remembered how warm it used to be. However, everything changed and the streets looked horrible. He claimed that he won't let it fall into darkness further. Inside an unknown place, the boy was trying to destroy a lock. He intends to save everyone in the village. Someone behind the door encouraged Dinah to run away instead and never to return. Determined not to abandon them, he swings with all his might. However, Bai arrived and stopped Dinah. He told Dinah to follow his instructions, but Dinah panicked and blocked the door. Bai assured them he's not an enemy and he's willing to help. As he asked where the mutated people were located, Dinah claimed they were beneath the village. Even if he freed all of the villagers, Bai knew it was not the best option. He suggested that Dinah act as bait and Bai will track the enemy's base. Dinah's mother warned them and begged Bai to spare his son. Determined to free his family, Dinah agreed to Bai's instructions. He told Dinah to follow him. Somewhere underground, Dinah was captured by Deer. Deer grabbed Dinah and asked him why he hadn't ascended yet. Dinah tried to attack, but was blocked by the centipede-like limbs of Deer. Deer lifted the boy. The mother cried for help and told Deer that Dinah was their son. Dinah denied her and said that he's no longer his father. Deer claimed that he will perform the ascension for Dinah himself. Deer's group left the prison and went underground. As they walked, Deer asked his comrades where their cloaked comrades went. They arrived at the ritual chamber. The cloaked members released their tentacles while surrounding Dinah. The ritual was interrupted after Deer knew that the 3 people he sent were killed. Deer was enraged by the news and filled with disappointment towards Dinah. He asked Dinah what he did, but Dinah didn't know. As he threatened his son with a blade, Dinah shouted that he wanted the chief to do the ascension. The chief arrived and Deer stopped. Dinah thought his mission was complete. He knew that behind that door resides the cause of their suffering. Dinah was taken to the village chief's chamber. The village chief told him that he wanted Dinah to inherit everything. Before the ceremony, the village chief revealed his secrets. He claimed that it all started due to the plague from the past. As he was saddened by their situation, the Kindler arrived at the village. The village chief used the power given to him to ascend the rest of the villagers. However, he's no longer fit to fulfill his duties due to old age. Dinah defied the village chief. The village chief released an insect. The insect headed towards Dinah to ascend him into an insect-like monster. Dinah hit the insect with a rock as he refused. The village chief went irate after his best work was destroyed by Dinah. Dinah rushed to the door. The village chief claimed that the door was something Dinah couldn't move. However, Dinah intended to lock them all inside. Dinah left everything to Bai. The village chief charged towards Dinah. Bai slashed the chief's leg and showed up just in time. The two clashed together as they talked about saving the village. The village chief was severely damaged by Bai's attacks. Dinah was furious by the village chief's blabbering as he hid himself. the village chief continued to justify his actions. Enraged by Bai's interference, the village chief unleashed his full power. He released a toxic gas that filled the room. Bai and Dinah covered their noses since the gas can paralyze them. The village chief continued to charge towards them. Bai deflected his attacks despite the gas. Unfortunately for him, Bai had a purification mask. He also gave one to Dinah. The village chief was infuriated since his gas didn't work on them. Bai confirmed that the village he once knew was no longer present. He remembered the time he first met the village chief. Lying outside the village grounds, the chief shared his food's portion to him. The village chief asked him to protect the village in his place as his dying wish. Still, the chief told him to be free and not be bound by such a small village. After recalling everything, he intends to finish the chief as his thanks. Bai made a critical hit to the chief's body. The village chief fell and struggled to keep himself alive. Bai told him that his time to protect the village is done. As the chief grabbed Bai's leg, their memories together flashed. He recalled the time the Kindler offered him power. The village chief took the risk, despite not trusting the Kindler. He felt excruciating pain during the ritual as the Kindler told him about the insect's power. Bai wondered why the Kindler had done such a thing in the village. Despite their encounter in the past, the village chief told him that things had changed. However, the village chief changed his mind. He pulled out his insect core and offered it to Bai. The chief died after entrusting the village to Bai again. The system informed Bai that he defeated the village chief and he earned soul points. Also, he received 2 items after the battle. Bai thought of saving the remaining villagers and killing the mutated ones. As he held on to the insect core, a connection happened again. Bai saw an unknown underground passage. He was led to another world fragment surrounded with insect-like tentacles. The Kindler noticed Bai's consciousness and told him he'd been waiting. Shocked to hear the Kindler's invitation, he still needs to find his location. Deer heard the chief's death and assembled his comrades. A big golden insect created vibrations on top of a building. The vibration alerted the whole village. A group of church assassins arrived at the village. The monster villagers noticed the arrival of the group. The villagers attacked, trying to hold them off. The leader of the squad noticed that the reason why the people of the church never returned was due to insect-like mutation. 2 of the assassins are the vanguard. The other 2 were a mage and a gunner. One of the villagers confronted the leader of the assassins. The leader easily dealt with the last villager. She's now curious about the secrets to why the village was important to the church. Bai realized that the village chief's family was assigned to protect one of the world's fragments. However, the Kindler took advantage of them due to lack of knowledge regarding its power. Bai remembered the value of each fragment piece and the power it holds within. Knowing the importance of the fragments, he intends to take the one hidden in the village to be king. Dinah admired and complimented Bai for saving them. However, he suddenly felt anger after Bai mentioned that mutated villagers can't be saved. Despite what his father did, he can't despise him as a parent. Deer kept yelling behind the door, blaming Dinah for the chief's death. Dinah felt traumatized by his father's words, wanting to kill them. He realized that saving his father was just a mere fantasy of him. Dinah requested to leave the final blow to his father to him. Bai noticed that Dinah was thinking like a true human, and not like a programmed NPC. He opened the door, and Deer's group surrounded them. Deer held her wife hostage. Dinah tried to remind Deer that he was holding his wife, and not just anyone. Deer told them that Ascension removed the burden of having feelings. He offered to free his wife in exchange for the key that Bai got from the village chief. Bai accepted the offer in exchange for Dinah's mother. They made their exchange. Deer felt ecstatic after having the key that the village chief kept away from him. He also claimed that besides having no feelings, he does not intend to keep his word. Deer ordered his comrades to kill them. Bai told him that he can take the key easily from him. He used his piercing pain skill that stabbed the monsters around him. Deer was shocked to see how strong Bai was. He attempted to order all of his soldiers to attack Bai. However, he encountered one of the village guards. Before its head was pierced, the guard informed Deer of the assassin's arrival. Deer blocked the blade with his solidified arm. The Rose Sisters were the female assassins sent by the church. The leader told them that no one in the village should be left alive. The team leader, Leona, noticed something. She dashed through Deer, severing his arm while looking closely at Bai. Leona thought that Bai was related to the secrets of the village. Bai felt uneasy after realizing that he won't be able to get the world fragment easily. Bai recalled that the Rose Sisters were the strongest force of the Crimson Church. Every selected woman with beauty had to go through trials to be chosen. He knew that each of the Rose Sisters had gone through brutal training. Knowing their history, Bai thought he had no chance of survival against 5 of them. Leona sensed Bai's fear. Bai told her of their greatness as a formidable force and thanked them for saving the village. Leona was flattered, however, she corrected Bai. The Rose Sisters were ordered to destroy the village. Dinah ranted about how cruel the intentions of the church were towards the village. Leona disregarded Dinah's words and attacked him. Bai deflected Leona's attack and asked her to stop. Leona thought of putting him last, but she decided to kill Bai first. Bai told her that he would never defy the church, and they're having a misunderstanding. Leona laughed at him as she revealed that the church was a secret organization. Bai chanted a spell that resembles a rose figure. The Rose Sisters saw and wondered why he knew of their most secret doctrine. The Rose Sisters attacked Bai as he tried to convince them he's not a foe. He used the spell and a huge rose emerged from the ground. The sisters stopped and were down on their knees. While they wonder how he obtained it, Bai recalled that he finished all of the church's quests. He didn't intend to reveal it, but he told them that he can now interfere with the church's decision. Leona agreed to Bai's request in saving the unaffected villagers. Deer tried to escape while Bai and Leona were talking. However, Leona used her weapon to kill Deer. Bai averted the attack again and Deer escaped. Leona questioned Bai's disturbance. Bai told her that he cannot disclose his reason, but he doesn't wish to defy them. Leona didn't let it slide and decided to kill Bai. Bai vanished and followed Deer. One of the sisters asked Leona if they should follow Bai's aura. Leona agreed. However, she intends to present Bai's head to the church for promotion. Bai knew that his invisibility was not at its best and the sisters let him slip away. He was left with no choice but to unlock his account skill. A golden framed card appeared, and the system showed him its information. Bai gained a civilization-era skill and obtained Guide as his new account role. He thought of using this new skill to revive the destroyed village. However, he still needs to consider his combat power. Bai stopped and thought that the final battle was about to begin. Somewhere under the village, Deer arrived at their hidden base. He reached the Holy Father of their cult and asked for power. The Holy Father granted him power and ordered him to keep his promise. A centipede monster entered through Deer's mouth. Gold shards appeared on his back as he struggled in pain. Deer turned into a boss monster. The temple guardians were discussing how Deer obtained the key from the chief. They intend to steal the key so they can meet the Holy Father. While they were plotting their attack, tentacles appeared from the temple door. The temple guardians were caught by Deer. Deer remembered what he suffered from the temple guards and killed them. He used the guardian's corpse as nutrition. He intends to kill everyone in the village to gain strength to fight Bai and the sisters. Deer was surprised to see Bai appear in front of him. He belittled Bai and attacked with his sharp tentacles. Bai easily dodged them and deflected his attack. Bai confronted Deer and they clashed. As Deer charged with all his might, Bai slashed his arm easily. He left Deer in a weakened state since he agreed to a promise with Dinah. Enraged by his situation, Deer spouted words that triggered Bai. He recalled that his father once wished that Bai shouldn't have been born. Despite his hatred, he calmed down. He reminded himself not to be affected by the past as he reached the door. He tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. Deer told him that he needs a key to open the holy chamber. He also claimed that sparing him would have saved him time to open it. However, Leona arrived and stepped on Deer's head. She found the key and was curious about what lies behind the door. Bai told her that he was about to find out. Leona destroyed Deer's body and told him that she's only interested in Bai. Bai felt flattered, but he thought his world fragment would be robbed. Deer tried to escape with only his head and legs. However, Dinah arrived at the scene to stop him. Deer tried to order him to offer Dinah's body. As he attacked Dinah, his son slashed him in half. Deer's body melted and turned into an acidic sticks of water. Dinah finally avenged her mother and leveled up. Dinah trembled in rage after killing his father. Leona asked him how it felt after killing his own father. Bai interfered and asked her not to rub salt on someone's wounds. Suddenly, Leona felt a strong headache. She remembered her past struggles and was abused. She saw her younger self burning a house down. One of the Rose sisters tried to put Leona back in her senses. Bai told Dinah to leave since his promise was fulfilled. Leona held on to the key and told him that his efforts were in vain. Bai suggested that Leona open the door instead to resolve her curiosity. Leona ordered one of her subordinates to open the door. As they opened the door, multiple tentacles appeared and pierced 3 of the Rose sisters. Leona and Bai managed to dodge the trap. However, the 3 Rose sisters are still alive and realize it's just the intensity of the murderous intent inside. Leona's curiosity grew and decided to conquer what's beyond the room. Bai thought that everything went as planned. The Rose sisters saw the world fragment and intended to present it to the queen. Leona felt shivers due to the pleasure of the rewards she will soon receive. The system appeared and showed Bai his new mission. He was tasked to use the world fragment to revive the village. He prepared his battle stance since the Holy Father arrived. The sisters were shocked to witness the floor boss. The boss was the queen of the mutated villagers and invited the sisters to be the next queens. Leona denied the invitation and belittled the boss. However, one of the Rose sisters told her that they've encountered a rekindle. Leona ordered his subordinates to commence maximum combat authority. Bai realized that without the princess' help, he would have died the moment they saw him. All of the Rose sisters focused their attacks on the boss. Their attacks revealed the Kendler's true identity. The sisters were shocked to see the rekindled survive their coordinated attack. The Kendler used his poisoned blood as an attack. The corrupted blood burned the sisters' skin, causing them excruciating pain. Bai didn't dare to attack and used the Rose sisters to learn about the enemy. Leona casted multiple spells to boost their power against the rekindle. He ordered all her subordinates to retrieve the world fragment. All Rose sisters engaged with a synchronized attack. The Kendler snapped his fingers and released his spell. The purple smoke paralyzed the Rose sisters. The smoke caused them to remember their traumas and nightmares. Leona realized that the Kendler uses toxins that cause suffocation. Leona remembered the man who punished her. She was blamed for the death of the man's daughter. She asked why the man always appeared in her mind. The previous boss's image appeared and told them to worship her. Leona denied her thoughts and was snapped out of the illusion. She called out to her subordinates. However, the Rose sisters were strangled by the insect monsters. The Kendler commended Leona for resisting his spell and for having strong will. Enraged by forced submission, Leona used her hidden skill. Her strength and power was boosted by the blood red bloom. The Kindler activated the skills of the nun's blood red bloom against their leader. However, Leona easily killed her subordinates. The Rekindle commended her for her ruthlessness. He transformed into an insect-like monster. Leona attacked the Kindler using her red whip. The Kindler caught her whip and swung it around. She doesn't have enough strength to counter the Kindler. She flew to the Kindler's direction and was punched in the stomach. Leona was pushed back, but she didn't let go. The Kindler continued to pull her in and landed multiple blows at her. He didn't intend to kill Leona, but he landed a devastating blow on her. Leona felt powerless and plans to use her suicide skill. She told them that if the queen or church won't have the fragment, no one else should. Leona offered herself and cast a spell called Bloodthirsty Holy Flower. The monster flower chomped the Kindler. However, it failed to suck the blood of the Kindler and was freed. Left with no hope, Leona called herself weak. The Kindler decided to kill Leona instead of toying with her. As her life flashes, she remembers the image of the Supreme Queen. Suddenly, Bai interrupted and saved Leona. Bai told Leona to step aside as he figured out the Kindler's weakness. Leona thinks he's being ridiculous since they can't defeat the Kindler as a group. The Kindler even treated Bai as an NPC. Bai claimed that he'll beat the Kindler using his battle experience. Commended for being a strategist, the Kindler launched his attack. As the Kindler intends to kill them all, Bai manages to dodge and save Leona. Despite Leona telling him not to meddle, Bai revealed that he's also a Kindler. Leona asked how he managed to hide his identity. The Kindler praised Bai for being one of them and even revealed the dark faction of Kindlers. Bai dropped Leona and prepared himself to engage. The Kindler charged towards Bai while they're conversing. Bai also charged towards the Kindler. As the two clashed, Leona was left clueless regarding Bai's identity. Bai managed to dodge a strong punch from the Kindler. While evading, he was mocked that his battle experience was a waste of time. Suddenly, Bai unleashed multiple strikes to the Kindler's body. Leona was shocked and impressed with Bai's speed. The Kindler had enough of Bai's speed. He transformed to a different form with more agility. The Kindler caught up to Bai's speed. He made a twin blade slash, however, Bai appeared on the Kindler's back. The Rekindled tried its best to hit bait, but he failed miserably. While using his Shadow Step skill, he explained to the Kindler the difference between power and battle experience. Bai attacked again with multiple slashes to the Kindler's body. The Kindler's plans to hide and only show up after leveling up. With his plan ruined, the Kindler used its ultimate skill. Leona suddenly felt extreme pain in the head due to the Kindler's magic. As he summoned his monster minions, Bai told him he's not the only one who could do it. Bai used the spirit summoning bell and the village chief emerged from its call. The village chief made his redemption by slaughtering the mutated villagers. The Kindler was annoyed after being countered by Bai every single time. The Kindler didn't intend to lose and headed towards the world fragment. As he stabbed the Kindler's back, Bai made a connection again. The memories of the Kindler flashed in his mind. The Kindler used to be a biologist in his previous life. After being betrayed by his business partner and taking his project, he lost everything. Bugis was about to drop himself on top of the building roof. However, his creation stopped him. Despite not knowing what the insect told him, he took his revenge on the company. He injected himself with an unknown serum to gain power. He transformed into a monster without a care in the world. Bugis realized that his memories flashing might be due to the power from the world fragment. The Kindler was back to reality and felt Bai's stab. Bugis successfully absorbed the power of the world fragment. Leona was shocked to witness the power of the world's soul fragment being absorbed. Bai realized that attacking Bugis's body directly won't end the battle. He pulled out and set his eyes on breaking the fragment. He made multiple slashes, but the fragment didn't break. Bugis revealed that he reinforced the fragment with special coating. The system informed Bai of his new skill, and the fragment stopped providing power to Bugis. Bai was glad that the skill he thought had no use saved him. With no power being absorbed, Bugis was suffering in pain. Leona tries to assist Bai, however, she's still in a weakened state. Bai threw an item towards Leona. He gave her the Crimson Rose badge to heal her immediately. Despite questioning Bai's decision, she was healed instantly and her power was boosted. Bai explained that they need to work together to take down the Kindler. Leona agreed and followed Bai. He charged towards Bugis and intended to end the fight quickly. Bugis tried to counter, however, he was no match for Bai and Leona. The two unleashed multiple blows and dealt critical damage to Bugis. Despite receiving a lot of damage, Bugis mocked their synchronized attacks. As he was about to counter, Bugis noticed something thrown at him. Bai used his deep space items and Leona wrapped him with a huge rose. The battle ended in Bai and Leona's favor. Bai received new artifacts and sets. He noticed the Dark Kindler mark, which gave him the idea to check the Dark faction. Suddenly, he appeared in the Dark Round Table Hall. Bai successfully assumed the role of the Kindler upon his arrival. He was greeted by the administrator. The administrator asked why Bai was alone and his purpose for the visit. Bai insisted that the gathering was today. The administrator apologized and accepted Bai's confirmation. Bai went silent, while the administrator asked him to let his mistake slide. They arrived in a hall with a huge door. As Bai was about to open the door, the administrator looked at him differently. Bai claimed that the administrator wanted to kill him by taking him to a door with a higher level. He acted like the previous Kindler and persuaded the administrator to stop with the trickery. The administrator told Bai that he passed and he's just doing his duties. Bai asked if they don't have detection items to determine the members. The administrator confirmed that they don't have enough items to detect the level 40 and above. As he mocked the administrator, he opened the door to the hall. Luckily, he made it to the correct gathering place. Bai was glad to have access to the previous Kendler's memory. Paz noticed that Bai was late. However, Bai talked back and mocked Paz regarding the previous auction. Paz was pissed and asked Bai for a duel. One of the members reminded them that they're in a neutral zone and no fight is allowed. With his pride wounded, Paz intends to kill Bai. The Duke arrived at the gathering. The Duke informed all the members about the three-way war and its status. The Duke asked Paz the status of his recruitment task. Paz reported no progress. He claimed that all reborn players wanted to be free. The Duke felt disappointed towards Paz for not doing everything. Paz responded that he killed all who refused his invitation. The Duke was enraged. He called the other players as fools for not joining them. One of the members tried to calm him down by reminding the Duke of their numbers. Moving forward with their agenda, the Duke praised Bugis and announced his rewards. As Bai pretends to be Bugis, he stays silent and listens to the Duke. The other members were amazed by Bugis's feats. Paz felt jealous and it gave him more reason to kill Bugis. Bai appreciated the praise from the Duke and asked if he could recruit. Paz interrupted as his responsibility was about to be taken by Bugis. Paz tried to persuade the Duke that it's not right. However, the Duke agreed to Bai's words. Bai thanked the Duke for the approval. Bai was glad to have access to higher level items due to Bugis's achievement. On his way to treat himself with the reward, Bai was amazed by the dark Kendler's halls. As he went through the door, he was greeted by an unknown merchant. Bai knew that the merchant's name was Mary and was informed of his reward from the Duke. Impressed by the recognition, Mary showed her new items just for him. Despite having much more interesting items in his inventory, he tried to look further. Bai was surprised to see a deep space artifact. As he was asked by the merchant, he tried to bargain with the lowest price. Mary denied his bargain and reminded him of how rare the item was. However, Bai tried to sway Mary to think that such a rare item was found, yet no one bought it. Mary agreed to what he thought and considered taking Bai's offered price. She offered to accept the given price with a condition. As Bai agreed as long as it was within his power, the system informed him of his agreement with Mary. Bai was delighted to have a huge deal for such a low price. The system appeared to inform him of his points and new information about the village. He was surprised to know that the first king lived in the Anka village. The surviving villagers met at the center of the village and greeted Bai. As the people showed their gratitude to him, Dinah boasted that he saw how powerful their savior was. The elders praised Bai. However, they were more concerned about the village's restoration. Bai offered them a solution to their problem. He used the artifact he purchased and it repaired the villagers' houses. The villagers were surprised to witness the technology brought by Bai. Impressed with Bai's skills and generosity, Leona offered him a place at their organization. He refused and revealed his intention to be the king of the world. Leona warned him about politics and threats. Bai suggested that she should take him to their queen to form diplomatic relations. She thought it was ridiculous and left the village. Bai left the decision to Leona and waved goodbye at her. She looked back once more and to the item he gave before. As she left the village, Bai's reputation was favored by the Rose sisters. Bai was informed by the system regarding the new benefits he received. He checked the leader of civilization era skill and explored the area. He was glad that the exploration mechanism was the same with the game features. He was informed that only 25% of the account benefits can be utilized. Despite his skills being limited, he's glad to receive such helpful perks. He explored further and looked at the burnt jungle. As he checked his previous battlefield, he saw demons rising from the cliff. He realized that the King's Cleave unleashed the demons underground. The system warned him to counter a demon army's invasion. Dinah asked him what's bothering him and he told Dinah of the incoming demon army. The villagers were in disbelief and some doubted Bai. One of the elders remembered that the village used to be a dangerous place and demons attacked it. Some of the villagers even called the old man senile, but the elder stood his ground. Dinah told the villagers to just follow Bai's instructions. Since they'd been saved by Bai, they all agreed to him. Bai bid farewell to Dinah and the villagers hid in the underground base. The system prepared designs for Bai regarding the upcoming invasion. Bai thought that he won't be a fitting king if he can't overcome this. As he confirmed to accept the offered designs, the artifact proceeded to create the defense. Meanwhile, the demon army marched through the burnt jungle. The demon lord ordered his army to consume the land and destroy everything. The demon lord intends to take revenge on the man who sealed him. The demon army charged towards the Anka village. However, the army was blocked by Bai's defenses. The demons fell for the trap and were annihilated. Spears and mines scattered all over the place. Even the dragon's head of the wall burned the demons on its path. The demon lord was shocked and thought they'd been ambushed. Suddenly, he noticed Bai standing near the dragon's head on the village wall. Bai confronted the demon king. The demon lord asked Bai if he's the descendant of someone he knew. However, he didn't sense its aura and proceeded to counterattack. The demon lord ordered his army for the counter and launched a long-ranged attack. Bai swiftly dodged every arrow from the demon's army. Knowing that the demon's intelligence challenged him, he decided to focus on the demon lord. The demon lord ordered his soldiers to form a wall of flesh. Since they can't proceed on land, they planned to go underground. Bai commended the Demon Lord's strategy and abilities. The demon mocked Bai's defenses as he boasted his new tricks. Suddenly, a massive lightning struck the ground. The Demon Lord was shocked to feel a strong earthquake and heard his army underground scream. A huge centipede emerged from the soil, confronting the demon army. The Demon Lord was surprised, yet he did not falter. Bai claimed that the Demon Lord was underground for so long that he forgot things had changed. Despite Bai's new form, the Demon Lord was unfazed. He intends to attack with sheer numbers. However, Bai turned the tables by controlling some of the Legion members against them. With his skills, the corpse of the demons turned into insect-like monsters. The Demon Lord was stunned by his way of fighting and questioned his humanity. The siege was about to end, and everything was in Bai's favor. The Demon Lord complained for being too oppressed and asked for his name. As Bai agreed to the demon's praise, he was curious regarding the Demon Lord's intelligence. The Demon Lord was glad to know the news about the king but felt discriminated against with his question. Bai understood and was convinced that the demons were not affected by the destruction of the world fragments. The demon was shocked, yet he sensed the sudden change in the world. With everything settled, Bai challenged the Demon Lord to a one-on-one. The demon dropped his spear. He no longer wishes to live since the revenge was in vain. The Demon Lord's reason for emergence was to fight the first king who defeated him. With no purpose left in the land of the living, he surrendered himself to Bai. The Demon Lord remembered his admiration to the vast world soul crystal. He made a promise that he'll become the strongest demon in the world. Bai questioned the demon's ability to transform, and the Demon Lord told him it's for high-level demons. Once again, he surrendered and accepted his death. Bai was about to kill the Demon Lord. However, he thought it would be a waste to kill such a powerful force. Instead, Bai invited the Demon Lord to help him be king. Enraged by Bai's attitude, he charged towards him. When the Demon Lord's fist was about to hit Bai, he offered to fix the soul world. Intrigued by the offer, the Demon Lord stopped and listened. Bai told him that he's willing to gamble to fix the world. The Demon Lord gave Bai a chance to prove if he can fix the world fragment. He gave Bai the benefit of the doubt and followed him. He was in tears for looking at a fragment with no magic power left. Bai thought that the Demon Lord was too sentimental. The Demon Lord asked Bai if he really can fix the fragment. Bai agreed and casted a spell to awaken the world's soul fragment. Energy went through the magic crystal. The Demon Lord was on his knees. He was mesmerized by the revival of the world's soul fragment. Bai asked the Demon Lord once again since he kept his promise. The Demon Lord agreed to be his loyal servant. Bai accepted the contract and became the Demon Lord's master. The system informed Bai of the benefits of their contract. The Demon Lord asked for his first mission and Bai ordered him to clean the battlefield. He told Bai that it will be easy since he has the power to control the dead. Despite the challenges they will have with the villagers, the demons will be their workforce. With everything settled, the village achieved peace. Meanwhile, a pile of corpses scattered on the land of Orcs' territory. A different army of demons raided the territory. The guards of the gate were doing their best to defend the land. The Lord's wife cowered in fear due to the demon attack. The land of the Lord, Leo assured them that reinforcements should arrive soon. The Lord's daughter tried to comfort her mother regarding the matter. She prayed to her God and offered herself to vow in servitude. As the soldier announced the demon's breakthrough, the Lord's family was advised to escape. The Lord's wife had enough panicking and demand for reinforcements. She left her daughter and ran toward his husband's side. As Leo hugged his wife, he reminded her of his oath. He smiled and claimed that his oath never changed despite his age. The Lord's wife agreed and reminded him of her faith. Suddenly, the Lord's wife collapsed due to overstimulation. Leo reminded her daughter of her mother's trauma. He left his wife to their daughter and wore his armor. The gate has been breached and the demons made it through. A sword bashed on the demon's head. The soldiers were surprised to witness their lord on the battlefield. The soldiers cheered for their lord. However, they've been struck by a demon's magic attack. An elite demon appeared and gave the lord a chance to leave. The soldiers were tempted, but their doubts for the demon's words were strong. The elite demon gave them 10 seconds to leave the gate. The soldiers dropped their swords and ran away. The elite demon asked the lord regarding his choice. With no desire to give up, Leo dashed towards the demon. The elite demon struck him with a spiked mace. He received heavy damage and his shield was broken. The lord was thrown and his back crashed to a wall. The elite demon was about to deal the final blow. However, the demon was interrupted by arrows heading his way. The elite demon blocked it with his left arm. Leo's daughter arrives and intends to save his father. The elite demon ordered his subordinates to deal with the lord and his daughter. With their boss' permission, the demon army intends to torture them. The daughter froze due to fear as she listened to the demon's cruelty. Surrounded by the demon army, she wished for someone to save her. Suddenly, the demons heard a familiar voice. Bai and the demon lord in the form of a dazzling horse arrived. As Earl questioned his master's form, they were ordered to bow by the demon lord. With his subordination questioned, Earl kneeled along with the demon army. Leo's daughter was shocked to see the demon lord as a horse and wondered who's on top. Before Bai's arrival in Orcs' territory, the villagers of Anka were surprised. Dinah and the villagers were impressed with Bai's achievements. As the demon lord mocked Dinah, he was mocked back and disrespected. One of Leo's soldiers arrived and announced their call for help. Bai remembered Leo's story and character. While Bai was trying to figure out saving Leo, the demon lord boasted that it would be easy. He asked the demon lord how, and the demon lord transformed into a huge horse. Back to the Orcs' territory, Leo's daughter was thankful for their savior. As she looked at Bai, she said that she will keep her word. Earl reminded the demon lord of their ways towards humans. The demon lord sensed disobedience and stomped down on Earl. Bai noticed that the demon lord had no control over the demons. With the demon lord's confirmation, they attacked the demon army to teach them a lesson. The demon army surrendered in fear after being beaten by Bai and the demon lord. Leo reached out to Bai, asking if he belonged to nobility. Bai answered that he's just an ordinary villager from Anka village. Leo thought he knew no one was strong in the village and a plague destroyed it. As Bai informed them of the village's revival, Leo claimed Bai as their savior. Leo apologized for the unnecessary talk and asked for a fitting reward. Knowing the Lord's honesty, he asked for 2 things. He asked for young villagers to migrate for population growth. Also, he asked to be their trading partner for the village's economy. The Lord's daughter, Reina, was shocked to hear Bai's wishes. Leo understood Bai's intentions and he promised to fulfill his wishes. The two were glad to have an arrangement that both honored and benefited them. Suddenly, Leo's wife left their home and yelled about the demon's invasion. Leo comforted his wife while her trauma turned worse. He noticed his wife's condition and kept thinking of a way to cure it. As Reina tried to help her mother, Leo put her in charge of escorting Bai. Reina agreed despite feeling helpless. She asked Bai to follow her. However, Bai told her that they couldn't let any regrets happen even though they won. The system informed Bai regarding his use of a level 6 mental potion. Leo's wife regained consciousness and noticed Leo's change in appearance. The Lord's wife thought she had nightmares and confirmed that she's back. Leo was in tears after knowing his wife was back. Reina cried, thankful for her mother's recovery. She thought that God sent Bai as their angel. Okay. After everything was resolved, the soldiers returned to the village. As they asked for forgiveness, Reina didn't accept their return. The leader of the soldiers kneeled and reasoned out with their lord. While Leo looked down on his soldiers, Reina insisted that his father must decline. Bai interfered and agreed with the soldiers, but a broken trust must be fixed. The leader of the soldiers promised to never betray their lord again. Bai asked the demon lord if he had contracts that would bind the soldiers. Kamo revealed his contract slate item. After knowing that the contract was unbreakable, Leo placed his hand. The artifact was activated as soon as Leo stated his conditions. The soldiers looked at each other with hesitation. Bai questioned the soldiers' plea and loyalty due to their reaction. The leader placed his hand as his men followed to agree to the contract. One of the soldiers asked what would happen if they broke the contract. The demon lord explained that demons will tear them off with no way of escape to spare. Terrified by the consequences, the soldiers prefer to die in battle. With all things settled, the lord invited Bai for a banquet. The night has come, and the demon lord admired the moonlight. He noticed Reina was dressed to accommodate Bai for the night. Kamo thought that his master would be sleepless. While Bai was resting in his room, he felt glad to have good food for the first time. Reina knocked at the door. Bai opened the door and asked for Reina's purpose of visit. Reina surprised Bai with an evening dress for a talk. Bai was surprised, but he questioned her dignity regarding her actions. Reina suddenly hugged Bai. The two fell on Bai's bed. Reina revealed her promise of faith to the one who saved their territory. Bai went along to test Reina's conviction. He asked Reina if she's ready for what's to come. She blushed and thought of keeping her promise to her god. However, Bai got off and told her that she's dedicating her life to the wrong person. Reina insisted that he's her god and she vowed to give herself. Bai carefully knocked her out. He covered her with a blanket and let her rest. He said he'd rather be worse than a beast than be a beast. Bai left and wished her a good night's sleep. The next day, Leo confirmed the labor force he will provide to Anka village. Bai appreciated Leo and was about to leave. However, Reina told him to wait and made a request to his father. She asked Bai to marry her. Leo and Bai were shocked with her announcement. Leo dragged her daughter for a discussion. He thought that Reina was joking, but she confirmed the truth. Leo understood her feelings, however. He explained why marriage isn't possible. He claimed that if Anka village and their territory was united by marriage alliance, both of them would plunge into the abyss. He knew that it could lead to their destruction. Reina kept insisting that Bai was God-sent. He remembered just how strong her daughter's stubbornness was even in childhood. Leo reminded her daughter that marriage is not easy. He also informed Bai that Reina was an only child, and she was important to him. He revealed her daughter's skills and character that made her the pearl of their territory. Leo agreed to assume that it was the god of fate who arranged everything from the start. Bai felt pressure as Leo asked him what he thought about her. Reina interrupted that she doesn't care about status and she's willing to let go of everything. Bai thought that it would be an honor to marry her. However, he had ambitions. He revealed his goal to form a kingdom through Anka village. Leo and Reina were shocked to hear Bai's goal to be king. Reina claimed she understood and she must support his other half's wishes. Leo felt that he had to bear the feelings of a father letting go of her daughter. Leo placed his hopes and trust in Bai. With everything settled, Bai felt relieved after the conversation ended. Bai returned to Anka village with men from Orxis territory. The people of Orxis were surprised to see the village looked better than they expected. Bai thought that the demon army's threat had not yet ended. He looked at a perished area with dead villagers on the ground. As he asked Kamo how many demons were left unchecked, Kamo was unable to confirm the exact numbers. Kamo informed Bai that there was another demon lord who was stronger than him. He was unsure if the stronger demon lord escaped along with them. Bai thought that their situation was more dire than before. He remembered that there were many demon rifts in the game with high-ranking demons. Also, he knew that the 8 kingdoms united to use deep space artifacts to keep the peace at bay. Bai ordered Camo to take him to the demon underground rift. The two passed through scorching terrain with bursting lavas. Suddenly, Camo's wings appeared. While flying, he told Bai that he was sealed in the underground rift for hundreds of years. Camo landed and Bai noticed that he never knew the dungeon entrance from the game before. Camo sensed the Demon Lord's power. After knowing that the Demon Lord stayed and its intentions, they went inside the dungeon. Bai intends to meet the Demon Lord stronger than him. Bai was intrigued that the Camo does not crave human flesh like other demons, to which the latter said that it is because he is different from them. As an outcast in the demon world, he was bullied so much and escaped to the human world. He's also there to pursue the complete world soul, a dream of his lifetime. Bai then asked him about exactly what kind of place is the demon plane, to which Camo explained that it's a truly disgusting realm with lots of gold. Even the armor he is currently wearing is made out of pure gold. Hearing this, Bai couldn't hide his excitement upon seeing a huge opportunity. They continued walking, approaching the demon rift just ahead of them. He smiled, thrilled as he commanded the preparation for battle. Camo immediately took the lead, reverting back to his demon form. He said that this form is the most practical combat form with great offense and defense. Meanwhile, Matthias' subordinates reported their intrusion, but he only told them to stay focused and keep channeling energy into the rift. He knew that the demons can continuously pour to the human world soon enough, but then he was surprised when they finally barged into the place. Camo stood side to side with Bai, mocking Matthias as they entered. The latter then called him a disgrace for teaming up with a human, but Camo firmly told him that his bullying and mockery doesn't faze him anymore. He threw a sharp look at him, saying things are different now. Matthias speculated they wanted to destroy the demonic rift, but Bai clarified it. His real goal is to take control of the rift and kill Matthias while he's at it. The latter couldn't contain his emotions and bursts out laughing, finding it ridiculous. While he has his guard down, Bai was able to completely sneak behind his back. He unleashed a powerful slash attack, cutting off the enemy's wings. He angrily swung his weapon at him in response, only to hit his afterimage. He claimed that no one can bully his little brother, Camo, again, touching the demon. While charging, Matthias called Camo a disgrace to the demons. He raised his axe, preparing to attack while he continued yapping. But then, his movement was stopped as he figured out that the last strike was poisoned. With this opportunity, Bai turned to Camo and gave way for him to end it all. Camo's face turned bitter as he began recalling his traumatic memories back then. He pierced him with his spear, saying he'll now walk the path he wants. With a soft expression, he bade farewell to Matthias. But unexpectedly, the latter began praising him for finally wielding his weapon to fight. It turns out that everything was a scheme prepared by Matthias himself. The magic circle began crackling with energy. The demonic rift is almost open. With this, Matthias said he can finally fulfill Camo's brother's last wish. Camo was utterly surprised upon hearing all these revelations at once. Matthias assumed his fighting stance, ready to teach his beloved junior a lesson to grow. At the demon realm, Callan heard how lively the demons roared for the baptism ceremony. He intends to be a true demon lord and intends to leave Camo to Matthias if he fails. Matthias assured Callan he'd be fine and the demon's glory should be defended. Despite Camo's cowardice, Callan thought that the future of the clan lies on Camo. After the baptism, Callan failed and his death was announced. Matthias was shocked with the news. While everyone felt despair, he saw Camo playing with rocks. Matthias despised the young Camo and hit him as he revealed the news to him. However, he claimed to have misjudged Camo. Camo passed the ritual and became a true demon lord. Despite the accomplishment, Matthias challenged Camo for his coming-of-age ceremony. Camo blocked his axe and commended his strength. However, Matthias managed to land a blow on Camo. Camo felt the devastating blow. With the battle nearing its end, Matthias claimed he would show no mercy. Camo rises and wields his swords against Matthias. The two clashed together, leaving no breaks. Camo barraged Matthias with multiple slashes, but Matthias felt no damage. Matthias ordered him to get back up and fight. Camo was beaten up and felt despair for only dealing small damage to Matthias. He noticed the mages that provide Matthias with buffs. Suddenly the mages were slashed and dealt with. Bai interfered since Matthias claimed before that the fight should be one-on-one. Matthias claimed that fair fights only existed in fairy tales. Bai agreed and joined Camo. Matthias boasted that he's too late and his power was completely charged up. Camo and Bai charged towards Matthias. Matthias hit the ground with his axe, destroying the place. The two were thrown back after Matthias used his demon energy burst skill. Bai thought that his sets were not enough to be on par with Matthias's power level. He thought he needed to gamble and unlocked a new account. The system confirmed his request and provided the most fitting account. The system provided a Demon Slayer account with only 25% of its power. Matthias charged and swung his axe towards them. He was sent flying due to the sudden burst of Bai's energy. Bai told him that the game is over with his new strength. He claimed that it's time to hunt demons. Camo was shocked by Bai's new power. Matthias felt a heavy pressure with Bai's presence. He no longer intends to fight Bai and quickly makes a portal to escape. However, Bai didn't let Matthias escape. Matthias was hooked by Bai's weapon. Bai pulled him over with one swing. He stabbed Matthias's back with his demon-slaying sword. Matthias asked who truly was while his blood was being sucked by the sword. Bai pulled out his sword and attacked again. He swung his sword as he told the demon to die. Matthias closed his eyes and accepted his fate. However, he noticed that Bai stopped the blade near his neck. Surprised by Bai's action, he asked why Bai stopped. Bai told him that despite his strength, Matthias was afraid of death. Matthias claimed he was not afraid, and Bai could kill him if he wanted. Even though Bai told him not to be ashamed due to fear, Matthias felt like he was being mocked. He asked what Bai's intentions were. Bai told him that he considers using Matthias' power instead of killing him. Enraged by the offer, Matthias does not wish to submit due to his pride. Kamo intends to punish Matthias for talking back, but Bai tells him he can manipulate Matthias. Kamo was amazed by Bai's thinking and accepted it. While the two were talking, Matthias ran towards the portal. However, he slammed on it like a wall, like something blocked him. Matthias kept punching and Bai told him to stop. Bai revealed that he now owns the demon rift and restricted his access. Matthias complained since he couldn't escape or fight anymore. Bai was curious about the concept of family and demons, and Kamo explained it to him. Kamo also informed him of the demon god and the rest of the demon kings. Bai thought he made the right choice sparing Matthias due to his lack of information about demons. He offered a contract to Matthias again, but Matthias asked why Bai was persistent. Bai told him that he will mine gold in the demon realm. Matthias felt disrespected. Turning a demon lord like him into a miner was outrageous. Bai claimed that he only needed to manage the production and order his minions to do the mining. Matthias accepted Bai's terms of contract. The system confirmed that the contract will not end unless terminated by Bai. With everything settled, they now intend to head to the demon realm. As they reach the demon realm, the system informed Bai he can only enter through demon slayer form. Suddenly, Matthias was shocked to see his home. They witnessed that his family's territory turned into a barren wasteland. Matthias heard a voice greeting him. An old steward informed him of the Bale family's invasion. Matthias wishes to kill the Bale family, as he slammed his fist to the ground with anger. Bai asked Kamo since they have the same situation. However, Kamo claimed that his clan looked down on him. Bai reminded Matthias that he won't stop him with his revenge, but he must fulfill their agreement. Matthias claimed he will fulfill the contract first before his revenge. Bai was surprised to see a mountain made of gold in the demon realm. Matthias told him that he had no soldiers. However, Bai already ordered Kamo to revive the demon corpses around the land. As Matthias felt sympathy for the dead being put to work, the system informed Bai of his income's limitation. He thought that it was slow, but he believed it would gradually grow. Bai was determined to be the world's richest man. In the middle of the night, chaos occurred in an unknown territory. A man in white uniform ran while ordering his men to attack. The guards used their guns while their boss ran to escape. Suddenly, unknown sharp objects flew towards them. All of the guards were down due to the surprise attack. The boss shot aimlessly while asking the unknown attacker his purpose. A blade suddenly appeared in front of the boss. The boss realized it was one of the organization's top 3 assassins. As he asked the assassin claimed he left the organization. While the boss played as a victim, the assassin slashed his throat. The assassin revealed his grudges towards the boss. However, the boss grabbed his leg. The assassin was surprised to see the boss covered with bombs. With time left to escape, the assassin died along with his boss. Paz was done recalling his memories. He saw Bugis's territory, and he spent a lot of money to find it. While Bai was out of the Anka village, Paz blended in with the immigrants. He was surprised to see the village thriving, which was different from what he knew. He saw Dinah and thought the kid might know everything. He asked Dinah about the church's direction and Dinah pointed it out. Paz was offered to be guided, but he declined. Dinah looked down and sensed something wrong. He felt that the aura of the stranger was the same as the previous village chief. Dinah followed Paz to the church. He intends to investigate and intends to protect the village. Dinah was surprised to hear Paz's voice. Paz knew Dinah's thoughts and mentioned his doubt. As he asked for Bugis, Dinah lied to him and tried to leave. Dinah thought he made it out by making an invitation to the banquet. However, Paz threw a knife and slashed Dinah's foot. Dinah was shocked due to sudden pain. He fell on the ground and his foot was chopped. Paz told him that he hates liars most of all. He claimed that Dinah was no threat to him at all. Paz raised his knife. He stabbed Dinah in the back. Dinah's last words were an apology to Bai since he couldn't protect the village. Paz was curious about the name he heard, but he claimed that only Bugis could threaten him. Suddenly, a drunk villager was walking around. The villager thought someone was drunk and asleep on the ground. After a careful look, the villager noticed it was Dinah's body. Dinah's mother cried and the village mourned his death. Bai looked at Dinah's covered body. Camo sensed Bai's strong killing aura. Enraged by Dinah's death, Bai seeks revenge. The village put Dinah in the middle of piled woods for cremation. The villagers shared their feelings with Dinah's mother. Bai told them to put on hold the cremation for 3 days. The mother asked Bai why they needed to wait for 3 days. Bai intends to gamble on a what if and freeze Dinah's body with ice. He thought that Dinah's body might be resurrected as a kindler. Also, he suspected someone from the dark table who has hidden killer skills. Bai used his leader skill to locate the culprit. The system found the intruder and Bai knew the killer hadn't left the village yet. Bai was furious with the desire for revenge. Paz made it to the world fragment chamber of the village. He was surprised to see the world fragment. Paz remembered that Bugus wanted the treasure map from him. As he felt glad to obtain the world fragment, Bai appeared behind him. Bai attacked him, but Paz easily dodged the attack and asked who he was. Bai told him that he's here to send him off. Paz claimed that he found loot and he would steal Bai's equipment. He dashed towards Bai with the intention to collect his rare sets. Bai blocked his attack. He thought that Paz had skills and aimed for his vital points. He was aware of his difference in power regarding the hidden killer class level. Bai thought he was no match if he continued to use his assassin account. He intends to change his tactics. Paz mocked Bai after being impressed with his skills. After hearing that Paz intends to fight Bugus, Bai grants his wish. Paz was shocked to see Bai had Bugus class and equipment. He realized that he's fighting a Kendler like him. Bai commended Paz for realizing immediately that he hid his status. Paz regretted killing him from the start, but he claimed that Bugus's power was no match to him. Bai used his poisonous fog skill. While dodging, Paz was thinking how Bai managed to adapt to Bugus's power for a short time. He took an advanced antidote to cure the poison's effects. He intends to get close to Bai and win a close combat fight. With strong reliance on his combat experience, Paz dashed towards Bai. He made it past the smoke. Paz was about to pierce Bai. However, the attack failed and didn't budge. Bai punched Paz on the chest. Paz was thrown and crashed into a wall. Bai used his 100 colony transformations with a limited time of 3 minutes. As he dodged Bai's attack, Paz thought that he didn't know Bugus made a potion this strong. He tried to escape and thought he just needed the time to pass. However, Bai knew what he was thinking and gave him no time. Bai used his claw, dealing critical damage to Paz. The slash made a huge impact, and Paz's body was slammed on the ground. Paz tried to ask for a fair fight. Bai didn't give him a chance to recover and stepped on Paz's face. He stated that he couldn't forgive Paz for stealing the fragment and killing Dinah. Paz pleaded to be freed, but Bai didn't raise his foot. Bai pressed his foot on his face even more. With all the pain and suffering, Paz doesn't wish to die like his death before. Paz was still holding on to his life-saving item, which cost him a lot of money. He activated his deep space concealment item that lasts for 3 minutes. Bai noticed that Paz suddenly vanished. Paz laughed at Bai and claimed he will be back for revenge. With Paz's carelessness with his concealment, Bai claimed he would not escape. Paz ran towards the exit with excitement. However, his excitement fades after witnessing the change in environment. He saw bones on the ground and thought that he made such a good use of his deep space item. Paz continued to run since there were no monsters on his way. 3 minutes were up and he thought he made it out. He saw the village exit and intended to use his concealment item again. Paz grinned and said he would remember Bai's name. However, Bai suddenly pierced his back. Shocked to see Bai catching up to him, he asked Bai to stop. He asked how Bai found him while he was being concealed. Bai revealed his ability to locate movements within his territory. As he questioned Bai's ability to see through his artifact's power, Paz dashed towards Bai. Paz fell due to Bai's poison. He realized that Bai added poison to his blade. Paz thought that Bai's multiple skills and powers were too overwhelming. He begged for mercy and praised Bai as he wished to be spared. Bai denied his plea and all the villagers in his back were armed. Paz claimed that they shouldn't care about NPCs in this world. Enraged by Paz's words, he intends to punish him. The villagers attacked Paz with no mercy. Paz was tied to a tree branch. He woke up and noticed he was hanging upside down. As he noticed he was on top of Dinah, he realized Bai waited for Dinah to be a Kindler. Paz mocked Bai for believing that Dinah will be revived as a Kindler. Bai felt despair since no changes occurred after 3 days. He apologized to Dinah's mother, and the mother was glad that the culprit was caught. Bai began the cremation and thought of apologizing to Dinah. He ordered the villagers to start cremation and burn Paz along with Dinah. Paz cursed Bai and told him that the dark table won't let this slide. Dinah's body glowed in the middle of the fire. Paz screamed in pain while being burned. Someone called Bai since they noticed something. Power surged around Dinah's cremation. The energy encircled and entered Dinah's body. Bai thought that his plan would succeed. After he saw Dinah stand, he claimed he won. Dinah jumped out of the bonfire. He stood up in front of the flames. The villagers were surprised to see Dinah's return. Dinah's mother hugged him immediately and welcomed him back. Despite being covered in burns, Paz claimed he may not be the Dinah they knew. Bai thought of it too, but he intended to check Dinah's next move. Dinah stared at Paz's dire state. Dinah claimed he remembered everything even the day he died. He raised his fist and a swirling flame gathered around him. Dinah punched Paz with bursting flames. There was nothing left but his ashes. Paz's last words remained to be the Dark Table's revenge. Dinah called out to Bai. He thanked Bai for having faith that he'll be reborn. However, Dinah grinned. He unleashed multiple fireballs and attacked Bai. Bai dodged them all and noticed Dinah's power level. The villagers asked them to stop and accused Dinah of being crazy. Kamo intends to teach Dinah a lesson. However, Bai told him to stop. Bai suddenly appeared behind Dinah. He agreed to Dinah's challenge and used a slash. Dinah vanished, and Bai was surprised with Dinah's escape. While Dinah's power emerged, the villagers asked them to stop the fight. Dinah had wings made of fire while saying that Bai was lucky to survive. He made a huge fireball and threw it towards Bai. Bai was impressed. He accepted Dinah's final blow and teleported behind him. Dinah managed to still throw the huge fireball on Bai. Bai dodged, leaving the fireball exploding in the night sky. The fireball turned into fireworks. Bai admired the fireworks and asked if Dinah adapted to his new power. Dinah thanked him again and still aims to be his right-hand man. Bai praised Dinah for being ambitious. Kamo interfered, claiming he's the right-hand man and Dinah will be the left. Dinah was hit on the head by his mother. Kamo giggled, watching Dinah getting scolded. With Dinah's death resolved, Bai thought of advancing to explore other places. He set his eyes on the Duchy of Elena. The princess was writing a letter for Bai. She took note of the days since their last meeting at the burnt jungle. She wrote about her dream, witnessing the first king once again. After reporting the kingdom's state, she received a gentle encouragement from the king. Since the baron was not present at his manor, the princess and her guards purchased a property using the gold coins. While waiting for the baron, they surveyed the city, and everyone was still thankful to have a home in the midst of war. The princess shared her thoughts about the kingdom's restoration in her letter. Suddenly, the princess stopped writing. She crumpled her paper. The princess burned the letter that was supposed to be for Bai. She wished for Bai to visit her. She stood up and shook her head while thinking of not relying too much. Suddenly, someone knocked at the door, informing the princess of the baron's arrival. The princess intends to persuade Baron Robbie to help her with the kingdom's restoration. The princess and her guards greeted Baron Robbie. The baron stopped the princess since he knew of their purpose. Rob asked the princess if she knew the weight of her goal. The princess was shocked that the baron knew of her actions regarding her use of gold. Rob told her that he's just a merchant uninterested in politics. He claimed that he will only side with anyone who can bring food and benefit his people. The princess responded that she had no intention to pressure the baron with her status. Rob added that he was impressed with her dream and wouldn't even meet her if she had no ambition. However, he ended the conversation and didn't give the princess another chance. Rob claimed she was not qualified to negotiate with her and asked to return once she had power. After their conversation, the baron vanished, and they noticed he was just a hologram. The guards of the princess were pissed by the baron's arrogance. The princess told them to speak no further since she agreed with the baron's words. The princess left and someone from the window was looking at their departure. Rob was covered in wounds and was accompanied by his aide. His aide tried to calm him down, but he'd done his best to respect the princess's visit. He tried to persuade the other lords for trading routes, but was caught in the demon army's attacks. Rob thought the queen would be alerted due to the alarming rate of destruction in the kingdom. A few days have passed. The guards were worried since the princess hasn't left her room in days. They left her food in front of his door and left. The princess sighed as she heard her guards leave. She looked at the window and noticed someone. She saw Bai under the moonlight. Upon his arrival, Bai invited the princess for a ride. The princess looked at him. Mina accepted his invitation and held his hand. They rode together on Bai's dazzling horse. As he advised her to hold on tight, Mina blushed and nodded. They left the princess's manor. They flew on top of the calm lakes under the moonlight. They even visited the woods with glimmering fireflies. They traveled in the highest skies of the city. Mina was having a good time. Bai was glad that the princess enjoyed the ride. Bai asked if Mina was feeling better after landing on the mountain with the castle's view. Mina thanked him and appreciated his effort. She told him that he temporarily forgot her own worries. Bai pointed out the city and asked the princess of her thoughts regarding Elena Duchy. He claimed that the Elena Duchy was no match compared to the glory of the Star Glory Kingdom. The princess was delighted after hearing Bai's words of encouragement. She was thankful for Bai's arrival and thought that Bai was heaven sent. Mina thanked Bai again and was about to reveal her feelings. However, Kamo interrupted, and the princess was shocked. After their little adventure, Bai met up with Mina again with her guards. The guards were impressed that Bai was able to tame a demon lord. The princess was also impressed, but she was worried about the commotion that the news would cause. Kamo was disappointed with their worries and used his spell. The guards were surprised that Kamo solved it with transformation. Bai told Kamo to settle down with a lesser look since having good looks might create a misunderstanding. Kamo transformed again into a handsome human form. Bai asked to continue talking business with the princess. He told him that he knew their situation and suggested they rely on themselves. Harry told him that they also wished to use the Baron's influence for information and mentioned the Restorationists. Bai thought that Rob belonged to the Restorationists, a secretive group of elders that were hidden in the 8 nations. He suggested that they should make the Restorationists come to them. Gray thought it was ridiculous. However, Bai told them they will use the princess's reputation. Daegu asked if they would give out money to the citizens to gain reputation, but Bai denied the idea. As he revealed his new approach, Bai suggested turning Mina into a national idol. Knowing that people praise and idolize heroes of war, he thought that Mina should be an idol who understands the people. He told the princess to use her charm to win the hearts of the people. Harry was worried about the 8 nations, but Bait told them that they will temporarily hide their identities. Mina agreed to his idea, and Bai suggested visiting Rob once again for the Transcendent Crystal Communicator. Gray told him that only nobles and royalty can afford the magic crystal. Bai told them it was a crucial item for the princess' popularity, but Harry told him that Rob refused to help. With pure determination, Mina ordered everyone to meet up with Baron Rob. Bai thought he could just continue his journey on his own. However, he doesn't want the worst ending to happen. He remembered that the last battle in the game was against Mina and the First King. Despite struggling to win the game, he managed to defeat Mina by killing her. He thought of a pulled-out blade with gushing blood. Bai felt he didn't want to end things in tragedy. Instead, Bai thought of marrying the princess once he became king. He knew that his life was no longer a game. Bai's goal was to bring his journey of rebirth to a perfect conclusion.